Buying Your First Home, a step-by-step guide. Now, buying a home can be an exciting process, but it can also be an overwhelming process. The goal of this video is to break down that process step by step so that way by the end you know exactly what to expect. My name is John Kerfus. I'm a real estate agent with RE/MAX Preferred Associates here in Toledo, Ohio. If there's anything in the world of real estate I can do for you, my contact information is going to be at the end of the video. But without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Step one. So step one is checking your finances and your credit score. Start on the credit score conversation really quickly. The higher your credit score is, the better your interest rates are going to be. The lower your credit score is, the higher your interest rates will be. What that means is you'll potentially be paying a little bit more in the long run. So getting on the absolute first step, get your credit score under control. Get your debts paid off, get your debt to income ratios where they should be. Start there. After you've verified where your credit score is at, down payments are going to be anywhere from 3 to 20% of the home price, while closing costs are going to be another 2 to 5% of the home price. Now, the lower your down payment is, the more you do have to repay back during your mortgage, while the higher your down payment, the less you have to pay back and less interest you'll be potentially paying as well. So it's always really good to save up as much as you can before you enter the home buying process. Another expense to consider is your moving and inspection expenses. Inspection expenses we're going to cover on a separate slide, but moving expenses, just have a game plan in place. Are you going to go rent a U-Haul and get some friends to help you do the move, or are you going to be hiring a moving company? Call around to some different moving companies and get some quotes if that's your plan. Have a budget laid out. Property taxes and insurance, as well as the principal and interest of your home loan, will be included with your mortgage payment, while utilities and maintenance items, those are going to be some out-of-pocket expenses. So just make sure you're jumping into everything correctly. Good pro tip is just to start saving early and make sure you're financially stable before jumping into the home buying process. Home's not a cheap thing to own, so that's step one. Step two is getting pre-approved for your mortgage. Once you've done all the front steps, make sure your finances are good. You're going to turn in that information to your loan officer. They're going to want to see your last couple of years of tax returns, plus a couple pay stubs, a few additional documents. Make sure you're a real human. The loan officer is going to help you understand what your budget is on the bank side of things. It's also going to help show sellers that you're a serious home buyer when you go to book showings as well as submit offers. The pre-approval process does involve the lender reviewing your finances, but upon successful review, you're going to have a pre-approval letter that you're going to be able to hold up and say, I'm pre-approved, and that's going to get you into a lot of doors. Pro tip, review some different loan officers. You have local lenders, you have online lenders, a whole different variety of options for every different individual. So I definitely recommend interviewing around. Step three is finding the right real estate agent. The real estate agent, me, is going to help you find homes that meet your needs and budget, negotiate best deals on your behalf, and guide you through the paperwork process and other hoops to jump through with any legalities, such as contingencies. We're going to give you updates on market trends, neighborhood details, and potential red flags in a home, and we're going to be your advocate through the entire process from contract to closing. I do recommend that you interview a few different agents, including if you're in my market here in Toledo, Ohio. Interview somebody else than me and see if you're a better fit with them. I hope that you come back to me, but at the end of the day, my goal here is to help as many people as I possibly can and provide excellent service. With that in mind, I recommend getting someone who is full-time, because there's a lot of part-time agents in this business, and there is a high failure rate in the real estate agent business, meaning not everybody sticks around. So do your due diligence. Make sure you get with an agent who has been around a little bit and understands the process, so that way you're not working with someone who's as clueless as you potentially are. So just do your due diligence on real estate agents. Getting into step three, or step four, I should rephrase, is to actually start house hunting. You got to know what your must-haves and nice-to-haves are. Consider the location, your condition, and the timing of the home, or the pricing of the home when you're looking at everything, your commute to work or schools or whatever's important to you, and potential resale value. You want to make sure you're getting into an area that's going to appreciate well, so that way down the road when you go to sell the home, you're going to be actually walking away with some money. Most importantly, stay within your budget. Don't overspend on a home. I don't want to get the call saying, John, we're going into foreclosure a few years down the road. So it's plan properly on the front end with your budgeting, and you'll have a successful home sale and purchase. Don't let emotions drive your decision. Be sure you're thinking long term. I've had buyers take years to buy a home. I've had buyers take a couple days to buy a home. Everybody's situation is a little bit different, but do not let emotions drive your decision. Once we find the right home that you'd like to buy, call home. We're going to make an offer and potentially negotiate with the seller a little bit. We're going to determine a fair price by looking at neighborhood sales of other properties. Make sure, excuse me, make sure you're not overpaying for the home. Be ready for a couple counter offers in case the seller wants some details changed, maybe a shortening of an inspection period or a price change. A couple different things that may be involved with counter offers. We'll go over all those details at the time of the counter offer. We're going to include some contingencies. The two main ones are your inspection and financing contingency. The inspection contingency we're going to talk about, as well as the appraisal in the next slide. Assuming your offer is accepted, you're going to have a little bit of earnest money to be put down potentially. It is part of the offer how much earnest money will be included. I've seen 0. I've seen 20% earnest money deposits, but general rule of thumb is about 1% of the sales price. But like I said earlier, that's a completely negotiable item. Just my pro tip on this one is just to stay flexible, but don't overpay, and keep your options open. Transparently keep your options open. Now, step 6 is the inspection and appraisal I was just discussing on the last slide. Inspections are to check for hidden issues, and that is to the purchaser's satisfaction. If you see something you're not happy with in the inspection, you pull the rug. The appraisal is to confirm the home's value. Now, the bank typically handles the appraisal process, but a purchaser can also receive an appraisal if that is something they are wanting to do. You know, that's the benefit of writing the offer and having the contingencies in place, is you get to do some due diligence. But the bank will also likely have an appraisal to ensure that they're not overlending on the home. Simple topic on this is, if something pops up that you're not happy with, negotiate, reduce the price, get some repairs, or back out of the deal. Now, quick conversation on the cost of said inspections. They range from about $400 to $800, depending on the additional services you may receive. You can get your general home inspection, check the structure, and be satisfied, but other purchasers may want to check for mold, or radon, or lead, or a variety of different issues that may be additional services on the inspector's end. So be prepared for that budget when that time comes. Your bank's going to likely charge you for an appraisal. Some banks charge that up front. Some banks charge that as part of the closing cost. So be sure that's a question you're asking when you're interviewing banks on step 2. And another thing too is, most home purchasers tend to get the inspection done first, so that way they know they're satisfied before spending money on an additional appraisal. So a couple pro tips there. Step 7 is the fun part. That's the actual closing day and getting the keys. Closings are pretty simple. Once we get through all the contingencies and the bank issues the loan, we go to the title company, sign the documents, write a check for the remaining closing costs due, and you get the keys to your new home. Now, in some circumstances, the seller will have a few days or maybe 30 days after closing to get everything moved out. That is something that's going to be negotiated on the front end as well. So all I have to recommend here is just make sure you understand what you're signing, review your numbers early, and if you have any questions, ask your loan officer, title rep, or real estate agent. In conclusion, that's the home buying process. It typically takes 30 days from start to finish. I should rephrase, the contract process takes 30 days from start to finish. Your home search will take as long as you need it to. Make sure you have a good, I shouldn't say good, make sure you have a great team of professionals you're working with, from your loan officer to your realtor to your title company. And if you have any questions, please throw them in the comments. I'll be sure to answer them. If you guys need anything in the world of real estate, whether here in Toledo, Ohio, or anywhere else, I'm in the RE/MAX network, so we have hundreds of thousands of agents worldwide. Be happy to connect you with a professional that's going to serve your needs correctly. Or if you are here in Toledo, please get a hold of me. I'm happy to help you out with your home search as well. I appreciate you taking a few minutes of time to watch this video, and see you on the next one.